Imagine if you could post to all of your social medias at any time you wanted by just sending a simple email. Whether you're at work, stuck in traffic, at home, or wherever you are, and all you have to come up with is one idea. Send that email and your AI assistant will take over and post engaging posts to all of your social media platforms. So how do we do this? Well, in this video, I will show you exactly how to set it up. Now, of course, if you don't want to set this all up by yourself, you can find the exact blueprints with all the prompts and everything else inside our community. So just let me know in the comments below if you want access to that, and I'll send you a private invite. And of course, if you want our help to set this up for you or your business, just let me know as well, and we'll schedule a call where we can look what would benefit you the most and set it up to your needs. All right. Now let's get into the build. Okay, so first off, you're going to have to open your make.com account. And of course, if you don't have an account yet, then I'll make sure to leave a link in the description below so that you can get your free account and follow along in this build. So use the link in the description below, open your free account, and jump right back into the video as soon as you're done, and we'll build this together. So once you're inside of Make, all you have to do is click this, create a new scenario, and then this is what you should see. So the first thing we need here is webhooks. And you can see this comes up. We're gonna open that, and we're gonna use a custom mail hook in this case, since we're using this to send an email to this very system. So click the custom mail hook, and we're gonna have to create a mail hook. So first off, I'm gonna name this scenario. So let's just call it easy email posting to social. I'm going to copy that and then click save down here. I'm gonna save anyway. And now we're gonna come into the webhook here again. So we're going to add a hook here. Just click add. I'm going to call this exactly what my scenario is called. So I'm just gonna paste that in there, and I'm gonna change this to mail hook just to make it very, very clear what it is, and then click save. And then from here, I'm going to copy this address, just click copy address to clipboard and click save. Now we can come down here and just save everything again. It's very important to save your scenarios constantly because unfortunately Make don't auto save your scenarios. So you're going to have to remember to save it so that you don't lose any data. All right, then jump into your email provider, of course. So the first thing I would do is find wherever you have your contacts. In Gmail, it's on this side, and we're going to create a new contact. Call this maybe easy posting to social. And then in the email field here, we're going to paste that mail hook or webhook that we got from Make, and then click save. So we got that. Now when we compose our mail, we don't have to remember the whole webhook. So we just have to find the contact, which keeps it very, very easy for us to remember. This whole mail hook is gonna be impossible since it's just a string of letters and numbers and characters or whatever. It's hard to remember. So that's why we want to save it, so that you can easily come into your email and just find it wherever you are, whenever. Let's try it out. So just asking, what can we expect from ice cream in the future of AI? All right, let's send that. Then back in our scenario here, we're going to hit run and watch the webhook just catch that data, so we have something to work from. Right, so as you can see, it caught it. It took a couple of seconds there for the email to float through the cyberspace, I guess, but here we have it. So as you can see, this is the subject, future of ice cream, and our text is what can we expect in the future with AI, and then we have some HTML content. All right, so to our next module, just click this, and then we're going to search for perplexity and click the create a chat completion. Now the first thing you're going to have to do here, of course, is add your perplexity connection. your API key if you don't have that. So to do that, all you have to do is come over to perplexity.ai and then create your free account. Come down to the settings down here in the left corner. Then under API is where you find your API key, and you can also top up with a few credits. So you don't need much. I topped this up with $5 maybe last week or something, and it's been going forever. It really doesn't cost almost anything. You can see my current usage here is not even close to $1, and I've been using this a lot. If you scroll down here, you'll find your API key. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to show you my API key, but there it is. Once you have that, you're going to just paste your API key here and click save, and that's all. And then it will connect. You probably get prompted to, can't remember, but you might get prompted to agree to the connection and making sure it's safe and all that. Just go through all of that until it's connected, and you can just find it here. The module we're going to use here, and this is very important, we need to use an online module for this to work. So the reason we're using Perplexity is because it's one of the modules who can actually search online in real time. Not all modules can do this. A lot of them, they catch data that is maybe 3 months old or so. We wanted to search in real time to get the latest news, of course. It's enough to use the small one for this. When it comes to message, this is where we need to put in the system message first off. This is telling the system its role and what it does. So like any TV chef, I've already produced that prompt, and you can find this inside of our community. And to be real, the prompt is usually what's taking the most time. Of course, you could consult with ChatGPT or any other model. That's the way I do it, but you still have to fine tune it a lot before it actually does exactly what you want. And as you can see, there's a lot of fine tuning telling it about the guidelines, the output format, and so on and so forth. So what we need to do here, once you have this prompt, we're going to insert some data from the web hook here, or the mail hook. Of course. So first off, it just says this is the role of the system, saying that you're a skilled social media copywriter. Your task is to craft engaging, shareable social media posts, and so on and so on. Important rule is that it always have to output the same language as the input. This is a multilingual assistant, so whether you're French, Swedish, English speaking, Chinese speaking, or whatever, we want the output to be the same as the input, of course. For subject, you guessed it, we're gonna take this out and then enter this here subject. Text, same thing. We're gonna take this out and enter this here text. So this is all coming from the module before, the webhook module. The same thing here, where we ask it to rewrite the text, input the subject and the text. Scroll down until you see those again, and then the same thing, input subject and text. And so what this does is that it maps the subject and the text from the module before. Okay, next we have to add a user message. So we're going to call that user, and then again I'm going to use a already developed prompt because I don't want you to sit through the hours of creating and fine-tuning a prompt. So there we have the user prompt, and same thing here, we need to change the subject here and the text line as well. All right, that's it. Then max tokens, we're going to say 1500 and leave it at that. So click save, and remember to save your scenario. Now let's try this out just to see what this comes up with. So we're going to hit run and send another email to the system. So it's running, And as you can see, we got this bubble. It means that it got some new information, some data. So if we go in here, we want to look at the output. Go into choices, click that one, and then messages. And here we have the output. So this is the output it came up with. Cool, it's working. The next thing we want to do is add a router, and it's under flow control and routers. Now here we're going to click and say OpenAI, ChatGPT. You can just search that if you don't find it. And we're going to find the generate image module here. Click that, make sure you're connected. Otherwise, same thing here. You're going to create a connection. If you don't have an OpenAI account, you need to go to OpenAI. And you're going to want to log in or create your account. And you're going to want to log into the API platform, not ChatGPT. So inside the API platform, it should look something like this. You have to go up here to dashboard. And this is where we will have all our assistants that we're training on different companies and different things. So you can see we have the Instagram expert, Facebook expert, and so on and so forth. Your API keys are down here on the left side. And from here, all you have to do is create a new secret API key, give it a name, and hit create. Once you have that API key, you guessed it, you're going to paste that in here. And that's all. You don't have to use the organization ID if you don't want. If you want, you could just click here to see how you do that. Once you've pasted your API key, hit save, and then you should be connected. Now we're going to need to choose a model. I'm going to use the DALL-E 3 here, and we're going to insert a prompt. And by now, you should know that I've already got this prompt set up. So I'm just going to copy my prompt in here. And basically what it is, it's saying that you're an AI image generator expert specializing in hyper-realistic DSLR quality, ultra blah 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 photography. Again, this is a prompt that you need to sit down with a while and fix. All right, so this is the important part. We have the choice message here. You can see that this is pulsating. This is taken directly from there. So if we take this out and come here to choices, under message, and this is this perplexity module, you can see that. Under message content, that's the one you want there. All right, this is the whole prompt and nothing but the prompt. And that's all we need for this module. So you can click save. And again, remember to save your changes down there. Now let's run this to make sure everything works. So click run. Again, you're going to have to come over to your email provider. So I'm continuing with the futuristic ice cream theme here. I don't know, it seems like I'm craving ice cream or something, but anyway, that's the theme we have. High-tech ice cream parlor. What would a robotic future ice cream parlor look like? That's the idea. I'm gonna send that. Come back into our system here and see what's going on. Can probably sit back for about 20 seconds or so before it catches the email. Okay, so we can see that the data is coming through, and there we have it. So let's look at that. And here's the URL. We just need to copy that, open up a new tab in our browser, and all right, so this is our future ice cream parlor. Pretty cool. Looks very robotic, huh? Okay, so I guess that's the future. Good, so we know it's working. Awesome. Next, we're going to add a HTTP module. It's going to be this get a file module. So click that. And so what we want to get here is the URL from the module just before it. Got that right there. Click save. Awesome. And then we're going to add a tool and set multiple variables module here. So the first one is going to be our image URL, and that's where we're going to add in this URL here. The next one, we're just gonna call it file name and add this file name here. And then the third one, we're going to call it data and add the data, or map the data, I should say, down here. Then we're just gonna click save. Remember to save the whole scenario. And if we press this, we'll just auto-line things, make it a little bit more neat. Okay, cool. Let's continue by adding another module here. This is the tools module 2. This is the get multiple variables. And the first item we're going to get is this one. So we could just copy this, add that in there. The next one, we click save. The next one is the file name. And then, of course, we have the data. So it's very important that the spelling is the exact same. You can see I've used camel case here, basically. So file, then capital N name, for example. If this is a capital D, you need to have a capital D. So basically, you need to use the same spelling as here. No two ways around it, so that's just it. Okay, cool. That's it. We can save that there. The next module now is a router. We'll find this here. We can also search, of course. It's under flow controls. That's our router. And then just move this aside a little bit. And now we're going to start setting up the different social medias. So because we want our posts to be custom written for each and every social media, they all work a little bit different. And for example, in LinkedIn, you basically never want to use emojis the way you do on Facebook. The post should also have different lengths and so on, based on best practices and also limitations on the different social media platforms. So because of that, each and every one of these are going to use their own assistant to write a post for the specific form. First off, you could use OpenAI for all of this, or Anthropic, or whatever AI assistant you want. In this case, just to show you some different ways of doing this, we're going to use both Anthropic and the OpenAI module. So let's create a prompt. Of course, you're going to have to set up your Anthropic module if you don't have that. And then again, just come over to Anthropic here, set up your free account, come to API, start building. Once you're in, I believe we can find the APIs on the left side here and under API keys. So here you just have to create your own key, and then that's the one you're going to feed in here and click save. So you got your Anthropic set up, or using OpenAI, whichever you want. Here the module we use is going to be the Claude Sonnet. It's the latest one for now. Our max tokens is going to be 2,000 tokens. And the message here is first off going to be a assistant message. And I'm just going to paste in a prompt here. So basically it tells the assistant to help us write for Instagram. All we have to do here is really come down here and add the content for the rule. This is just to tell it that it should use the same language as the content of this message here. All right, cool. Next, we need to add another message. This, of course, is going to be the user message. The content is a text content, and the text is going to be our user prompt. So the user prompt is saying use the same language and write an engaging Instagram post based on this text. And this text, as you know, comes from the Perplexity module under choices, messages, and content. You're also telling it to keep your output between 138 to 150 characters, which is the sweet spot for Instagram posts at this moment. Click save. And click save down here. Now we're going to add our Instagram module. Go into here, and then we're going to create a photo post. Of course, set up your Instagram. You just have to hit save and go through all of that. Sometimes setting this up is going to tell us that it's an unsafe connection. then just continue with the setup anyways. There's no worries there. Make sure you have the right page here. And then of course our photo URL is going to be the image URL from this module. And our caption is going to be the content from the module just before it. So it's going to be the text here. All right. Then you can click save. And then last but not least, we're going to right click on this and add a error handler, which is going to be the ignore handler, and you don't have to set that up at all. Great. Save the whole scenario. And now we're gonna run it through one more time to check it. For this, if you don't want to post on Instagram straight away, you can just unlink this for now and we'll link it back later. Okay, and so we're gonna send one more email. I'm running with the ice cream and the Blade Runner, which I love. Okay, so this is an American diner now, future glimpse of an American diner where people are sitting at the bar having colorful ice cream that's served by a beautiful android. It's a mix of the 60s and Blade Runner like future. Let's just see what it comes up with. Okay, click send, come back to your scenario. Of course, we need to click run and just wait for a moment to see what happens. And so the scenario and everything is working. Now let's have a look here at what it gave us. So from horse-drawn carts to Android servers, the diner revolution continues. What's your vision for tomorrow's diner? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, and let's have a look at the image it gave us. Copy the URL here. And just open that in a new browser. Okay, so there we have it. It's our ice cream, futuristic ice cream parlor. Great, so now that we've seen that that is working, the next module we're gonna use here is an OpenAI. And normally we use the messaging assistant because that allows us to build and train the assistants within the OpenAI platform. So through that, you can train the assistant to your company, and that's exactly what we do. So I would say that that's a better way to do it, but for this purpose here, we're going to use the create completion module instead. And that just means that we're going to hardcode the module inside of Make instead of calling an AI assistant on the OpenAI platform. Here we need to choose a module. In this case, we're just going to use the GPT-4o mini system. Tokens, we can leave it at 2048. We're going to add a message. This first message is going to be a system message. And so here's the prompt. And what it does is it tells the system what kind of role it has. In this case, it's a Facebook marketing expert and a lot of guidelines for how to write the specific content for Facebook here. The only thing we really need to do is come down here and make sure we've got this inserted somewhere. This is just for the language to make sure that it outputs the same language. And that's especially important if you're not using English, for example. All right, the next message we need is a user message telling the system what to do. And again, I've got this prompt set up already, and so there we have that. And again, this one is just telling the system first off to use the same language and write an engaging Facebook post based on this text, the text coming from the Perplexity module, and to keep the output between 40 to 80 characters, which is Facebook specific too. That's all we need to care about for this module. Hit save and save the whole scenario. Next, we're going to add a Facebook module. So let's search for that. Find the Facebook module here. That's not the right one. It needs to be the Facebook pages. So this only works with Facebook pages now. Make sure to have your page set up. All right, then here we're going to create a post with photos. Make sure you got the right connection and the right page, of course. And then we're going to change this to download a photo from URL, and the URL we're going to use is this image URL here. The caption we can leave empty for now, but the message is going to be the result or choices and message content from here. And then we're going to add this error handler here, the ignore one. Great. We can continue by setting up another module. We're using the Anthropic again. You could use the OpenAI, of course. I'm just switching this up to show you both. It's going to be the create a prompt. We're using the latest Claude module. Max token 2000 tokens. The message is going to be an assistant message. And of course, I've got that pre-built so you don't have to sit with me through hours of fine-tuning and prompting. Anyways, so this is pre-built for LinkedIn. That's the important part here. And then some context on how to write it, tasks and responsibilities, guidelines, so on and so forth. And again, the rule about the multilingual. And here we have the text from the Perplexity module. Cool. We're also going to add a user message. I think you're getting the drift of this. This is a text message and a very short prompt, now telling it to write an engaging LinkedIn post instead. And so you can see we have a different character count as well. Click save. Save the scenario and add your LinkedIn module. This is going to be create a user image post right there. Make sure you connect it to your LinkedIn account. For the image, in this case, it doesn't allow us to use the URL. So we're going to click map and we're going to map the file name and the data right there. Title, we don't need to care about that so much. Content, however, of course, is the content coming from the module before this, and it's going to be the text content there. All right, then visibility, you can choose where you want to show it, of course, and all of that. We're going to keep it at public and main feed. Click save. Okay, that's done. Right click, hit error handler, and then ignore. Great. Now just to clean this up a little bit, all you have to do is click this one and you can see it comes together. This one needs to be connected though. Like that. Click that again. Okay, awesome. Now we're going to add another OpenAI module. This is a create completion module for the same reasons as before. Make sure you're connected, and the module here is going to be the 4.0 mini. Our message is going to be a system message, and that's our prompt. This all looking good. So this is made for Twitter specifically. Scroll down, add another message. This is a user message. I'll paste that in there. And again, it's just now customized to Twitter or X. And you can see the characters is different. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. Click save. And then, of course, add the Twitter. I believe it's Twitter, X, Twitter, whatever. Same thing. And create post. Make sure you're connected. Text content is going to be the one from the module before this. You could insert the result or go to choices, message, and content right there. That's pretty much it for Twitter. Hit save. And then of course we're going to add the error handler here as well, the ignore handler. Cool. Save the scenario. And last but not least, add another Anthropic module. It's the create a prompt module. We're going to use the Claude 2000 tokens and message our assistant. Insert our prompt for Pinterest. Again, some language preferences content guidelines, and so on and so forth. And then the message from the Perplexity module, and then another user message right there, which is a text message, and you guessed it, a short prompt for Pinterest with 100 to 200 characters. Click save. And then of course we're going to add our Pinterest module, which is the create pin module. Make sure you're connected to your Pinterest account. Source type is going to be the image URL. We're going to add the image URL right there. We're going to connect it to a board. A board section we can leave. Title, it doesn't really matter. The description, however, is this text response here, or the text from here. Hit save, and then of course our error handler right there. Cool. Now I'm gonna click the auto align everything a little bit nicer. And of course, if you wanna just give this some aesthetics or whatever, we can do that. I believe this is the way I have the other one ish. Not that it matters, but nice is nice, right? Click save. That's it. And now, of course, we want to try out this scenario. So once it's saved, come back to your email, and I'm just gonna run with the same one again to take a future glimpse into the future of American diners and AI ice cream and so on. So click send, and let's come back to our scenario. Now, of course, we have to make sure this runs. This has already picked up the data. Okay, and then once the email comes in, it should start running. It's running through, so to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest. All right, cool. Now let's have a look at our different social media. Awesome, so this is the American Diner Facebook post. Did you know the first American diner was a horse-pulled wagon? I had no idea. From sandwiches to futuristic vibe. How cool is that? What's your dream dinner experience? And that's it. Okay, cool. So that's Facebook. Now let's have a look at Twitter here, what it did. Cool. So Twitter, of course, is the only one that's only text, but we got the text about the diner and the horse-pulled wagon. Let's check Pinterest. Just gonna update that. There we are. That's our pin. And we got some text here. LinkedIn. All right, so here's our LinkedIn post. You can see it's just a little bit different, but the same image, of course. And then last but not least, Instagram. And there is our Instagram post. And all this from a simple email idea. If you don't want to build this out yourself, you can find the full blueprint and all the AI prompts inside of our community. Just let me know in the comments and I'll send you a private invite to the community as well. Last but not least, if you want our help to set this up for you and your business, then you'll find a link in the description as well, so that we can just jump on a quick call and discuss how we can set this up for your business so that it benefits you the most. And if you want to know how you can create even better images using the Flux module, then go and watch this video next. Now let me know in the comments how you see yourself using this and what benefits it will give you in your business or everyday life. By now you should know exactly how to set this system up so that you can post to all of your social media from just one simple email.